Welcome to the 4th week of March to my East Sussex allotment, and I wish to give a welcome to all my new subscribers, but especially to those subscribers that have made comments. A number of these comments have been very encouraging and heartfelt, and I thank you very much for these warm remarks. Thank you. Back to the work in hand. It's a bit more of continuing on from last week, but it rained yesterday and this soil is very sticky. It is too sticky to plant anything, but I've got to get rid of these weeds, got to get the digging done. I want to be at least halfway down this section of the plot by the end of the week. This section is where I've got the fig tree, which has got encapsulated roots in a concrete box, and I want to get to the blackberry that Dick gave me, the cutting. So those weeds there have got to go, and in those weeds there's a blackberry bush. So at the end of the day I'd cleared this hole so I can start boarding out tomorrow and getting the wire in. This old door is on its last legs, but at least it's protecting the onion bed and the garlic. Up nice and early Friday morning, I started clearing the weeds at the gap in between the plot and the pylon, and getting some fresh air to the blackberry plant that I was given. There it is. I'm sure it's going to be grateful for being released to the open air. It's quite a strong plant. Dick dug a slit trench, took a cutting off his blackberry and slipped it in there, and it's quite satisfying when you see that it's rooted. Squaring round the post with the level. That board hasn't been fixed, it's only there temporary. What we'll do is we'll wedge it, nail it down at one end where the mark is, and then I can level it and then secure it at the other end. All fixed, just check it for level now, and then we can go back to the other end and start putting the board underneath. The soil needs clearing away from the netting, and so I can slip another board in underneath. And there's about a 4-inch gap between the two strands of netting, so I'll have to find and search for a piece somewhere. A peg is inserted to give some support to the board underneath. I found a scrap section of wire which I'm stapling into the trench, using a hammer behind it to take the flex out of the board, but when I get the wire connected to the one above I shall need assistance in that. Excavating all the earth out of the trench gives me the opportunity to deposit some horse manure into the bottom, a good dollop of it, which will come in handy over the years, and we now backfill with the wet claggy soil. So that's the end of Friday, and that's as far as I've got. Tomorrow is another day. Here we have a couple of cockbirds fighting. It's breeding time again, and they're going to be a damn nuisance. I normally use 8x2 floor joist, which is structurally tested timber, but I found that 4x2 timber, which has failed its structural test, is a lot cheaper, and 2 4x2s make 1 8x2 and at half the price. So that was one of the jobs we used to do at college, would be testing the timber for local timber yards and testing it for strength and knots and moisture content and various other things. There we go, happy days, all our yesterdays, I don't know. I clamped a 4x2 to the previous bed lower down so that it was parallel to the edge, followed the same line, levelled it, marked it, and then nailed it to the posts, again using a hammer behind it to take the flex out of nailing. Using the saw as a square, I marked it the length, quite accurate really, and cut it to size. It's then placed on top of the previous 4x2, nailed with 6-inch nails, and there we have a new 8x2 edge to a raised bed. The end is closed off the same way, and then we can now dig it over and bring it to level. The next day is Mothering Sunday, so I had no work, but I did bring the family down to have a look at the allotment. It was very interesting to see it. Monday morning, brought number one grandson down to give me a hand. He tied the top netting to the bottom wire, and while he was doing that, I searched the allotments for a throwaway piece of wire which I could straighten out and cut to size and bring it back in and fasten to the bottom wire. But before I could do that, I had to clear the soil away from the kickboard. As I have said previously, stapling the wire to the kickboard in this position is a two-handed job, and you need somebody at the other side with the hammer to take the whip out of the board. Number one grandson went back home with the dog, and leaving me to reduce level the path. There's not much I can say about this operation. You've got the kickboards and you've got the raised boards to give you a guide on how much to dig down, and you just grit your teeth and bring a flask of tea and plenty of breaks, and it's just hard work. It then started to rain, not heavy, just like a fine mist, and I thought, well, here's a good opportunity to sow those peas. I wanted to see if using the coffee grounds would work against the mice with the peas as it did with the broad beans. So I dug my trench, watered it, and in go the coffee grounds, courtesy of Waitrose. Then spread in the peas and backfilled. I've always been concerned about succession sowing, never get it right, and Dick was on the plot and he came to see what I was doing, and he gave me some advice on succession sowing. Planted on the 27th of March.
When the green shoots poke through, immediately sow the next row.
All that was left for me to do now was net the bed against those pesky pheasants. Well, that's the end of the 4th week of March. Only 3 more days left for April. Hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you've liked it, give me a thumbs up, and but please comment. But till next time, bye.